He's not going back to jail. The judge
Yeah,
today ruled, I guess, that he wasn't going to go back to jail.
yeah.
But Young Thug, no,
Here's the thing.
there's just a
Let,
lot
oh,
of
let,
lessons that I just don't necessarily feel have been learned. But I will speak to and let you speak
I
about that.
I I would like to explain something to all of my people out there who are on probation. Sit down. Shut up. Lock in. The hell are you doing? Okay? We already lost you once to the system. We don't want to lose you again. Whenever you feel like there is something related to court cases and related to your case, related to violence, or related to any potential breaking of the law, don't say shit. Don't say nothing. It ain't gonna benefit you. Okay? I want nothing more than all of us to be free. But it's listen, you gotta get out your own way, okay? So if you're on probation out there, first of all, we already know probation is not for the faint of heart. It's not fair. You be on probation 35 years after serving 1 year. Come on, man. Come on, get it together.
I can't argue with nothing you just said. I just think that the problem is, and you know what's funny? I encountered a situation this week where I could where actually it was last week, but it kind of bled into this week where I could have just been overtly confrontational about something that I saw on the internet.
Yeah.
And rather than me going to the internet and being controversial about it and making a bunch of public statements, I just was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna just let it rock. Things will be what they will be, and we just let it rock. And one of the biggest reasons people ask me all the time, like, why I got rid of my Twitter. I got rid of my Twitter because I don't need it. Like, I have enough public forums to speak. I don't need to be posting all my thoughts. And I realized that a couple years ago, like, yo, get off Twitter. Like, I still have like close friends on Instagram and stuff just when I be talking shit to my friends, asking for advice. But like, in terms of like, like we grew up on Twitter and Facebook and posting all the time and all that kind of stuff. And you see how much it's come back to like really haunt people because
Everybody.
because everybody thinks that you're supposed to be the same person you were today that you were when you were 18 or 16 or 17 or 20 or 21 or whatever, based on some stuff you was putting on the internet, especially at a time when if you a Gen Z, like, you don't really understand, like, the early days of Twitter was not that big. So because it wasn't that big and it was such a small community, a lot of people got to know, and a lot of the people that you see doing podcasts and stuff that are famous now and in digital media were on the internet back then on Twitter, and they became Twitter personalities and helped morph them into other things. Including guys, like all types of guys. Like Joe Budden was one of the first people that I, knew about on Twitter. Wiz Khalifa was one of the first people that I knew about Twitter back when they would respond to everybody all the time. So the community was small, so people were just trying to say wild shit so that way they could get a bunch of retweets because that's what everybody did back then. But nowadays, it's like everybody wants to parse through every thought that everyone had in the past on Twitter. Especially when it's like goofy stuff or bad jokes or things that are like crass or said in taste. Like, I'm not talking about, extreme stuff like people wishing death on somebody or people, going to jail based on tweets that, led to crimes or whatever the fuck. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stuff that has been said in bad taste where people get canceled for it. So I think it's interesting to see that even under the eye of the law, that habit of wanting to put that stuff out, like you get mad at somebody that work in the DA office, and you, instead of you just being like, let me just shut the fuck up, you just hop on Twitter and tweet your grievance. And realistically, if that judge wanted to be an asshole, you would be sitting back in jail.
But not only that, bro, I think the craziest thing is, like, not only did he type the shit, he typed the names. like you didn't even mask. Like, at least put some, SGA in the NBA, like he don't be responding. Everyone only post captions with like quotes, like you're saying in bars, and I love it. But it's like
bro, come up with a rap bar, make it creative.
And I think that's the thing. Is like, dude, like you don't understand. Which is, I'll tell you this. You want me to say what I hate about this is y'all got all this damn money, and yet y'all don't invest in having somebody around y'all that just know the damn law. That's it. It's like literally, before I do something, hey, Brian, tell me.
Well, no. Well, look, he could have technically been sitting in a room with his lawyer, and his lawyer could have said something that made him mad, and he could have got on his phone and tweeted that shit. Yeah. So I'm not even trying to be argumentative.
Nah,
that's not gonna stop nothing. Like, literally, his lawyer could have said this person in the DA's office was like blah 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 blah. He like, man, and then the lawyer's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Delete that shit.
Hey,
delete all of that shit, Peggy. Delete that shit.
They always do. We always
like, gee, my phone got hacked. All right, bro.
Okay, man.
All right, bro.
You're not.